Ladies and gentlemen, good day and welcome to the Q4 FY23 earnings conference call of Anmol India Limited. As a reminder, all participant lines will be in the listen-only mode, and there will be an opportunity for you to ask questions after the presentation concludes. Should you need assistance during the conference call, please signal an operator by pressing star then 0 on your touchtone phone. I now hand the conference over to Mr. Chakshu Goel from Anmol India Limited. Thank you, and over to you, sir.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us for our fourth quarter and FY23 results conference call. We are pleased to have this opportunity to update you on the progress of Anmol India Limited and answer your queries. Before we start with the questions, I would like to give a brief background about myself, our founding promoter, Mr. Vijay Goel, and how we built Anmol India. Talking about myself, I have done my graduation in B.Tech Computer Science. I did my post-graduation in management from the prestigious Indian School of Business, Hyderabad. Being part of Anmol India Limited has allowed me to contribute to the company's growth and technological advancements, and thereby fuel the company's passion for innovation. However, I'm humbled by the expertise and experience of our founding promoter, Mr. Vijay Goel, whose determination has been instrumental behind our company's success. He comes from a very humble background and started working in the industry in 1985 and incorporated Anmol India in 1998. His 37 years of experience has been an invaluable asset to the company. Under his leadership, Anmol India Limited has transformed to a leading supply chain management powerhouse in the commodity trade sector. Our business model focuses on providing end-to-end supply of commodities to a valued customer. We take pride in being a one-stop solution for all their commodity needs. Key components involved in the supply and delivery process include technology in data-driven demand forecasting. Number 2, sourcing from reliable sources by leveraging our global connections. Third is the systems for quality assurance, robust banking and cash flow management, efficient logistics and transportation, expertise in port operations and cargo handling, reliable last-mile delivery, customer credit support to foster long-term relationships, and proactive risk management to mitigate market fluctuations. All these components together make up the supply chain management stack that we have worked so hard to build. In summary, we have developed an ever-evolving SOP or stack that serves as a framework for conducting business efficiently. This SOP is continuously fine-tuned and adapted to accommodate the specific requirements of each commodity we import. By leveraging this well-established stack, we ensure streamlined operations and optimize our efficiency in the commodity trade. This helps us scale quickly and efficiently. Along with this, our extensive industry knowledge, years of experience, deep market insight, along with strong customer relationships have been instrumental in our success. As we move forward, technology will remain a vital driving force for Anmol India Limited. Our steadfast commitment to leveraging the technology goes beyond internal operations. The Anmol Coal mobile app, currently utilized by over 2,000 users, plays a pivotal role in price discovery and customer communication. Recently, we have also introduced bidding options on the app. We expect results of this feature to be seen soon in the second half of the year. By embracing technology, we streamline operations, boost efficiency, and offer innovative solutions to our valued customers. Going forward, there is a huge market to explore, and the company intends to diversify into newer commodities and geographies. Expansion into these commodities will be very strategic, as in the company believes in either finding commodities that it can cross-sell to existing customers during initial imports, or importing those new commodities which its existing suppliers can supply effectively. Well, finally, moving on to figures, I would like to talk about our Q4 and FY23 results. This year has been a huge achievement for us, as we were able to grow both our top line and bottom line despite the commodity market being very turbulent. This was possible due to the hard work of our entire team. Speaking specifically about financial performance comparison, Q4 FY23 vis-a-vis Q4 FY22, our revenue from operations grew by 18.70% from rupees 311 crores in Q4 FY22 to rupees 370 crores in Q4 FY23. This was primarily driven by the addition of new products such as coking coal, met coke, chemical in the portfolio and increase in volume. EBITDA increased by 31.83% from rupees 7.32 crores in Q4 FY22 to rupees 9.65 crores in Q4 FY23. EBITDA margins increased from 2.34% in Q4 FY22 to 2.59% in Q4 FY23. This is an increase of 25 BPS. PAT increased by 40.18% from 3.16 crore in Q4 FY22 to rupees 4.43 crore in Q4 FY23. PAT margins increased from 1.01% in Q4 FY22 to 1.19% in Q4 FY23 by 18 BPS. On the annual result front, if we check annually, revenue from operations recorded a healthy growth of 33.12% from 1,059 crores in financial year 22 to rupees 1,410 crores in FY23. The EBITDA increased by 32.74% from 27.52 crores to rupees 36.53 crores in FY23. EBITDA margins remained around the same level. Profit after tax stood at rupees 18.66 crores in FY23 as compared to rupees 15.55 crores in FY22, witnessing a growth of 20%. EPS has increased by 19.90% from 13.67 in FY22 compared to rupees 16.39 in FY23. We are pleased to announce a strong quarter and yearly earnings, which demonstrate the effectiveness of our operational approach. We firmly believe that the initial steps that we have taken for diversifying our operations into new markets is a vital factor in achieving long-term success. I would like to thank you all. Thank you.
Can we start the Q&A session? Mr. Goel?
Yes,
We
sure.
can begin, right? We will now begin the question and answer session. Anyone who wishes to ask a question may press star and 1 on their touchtone telephone. If you wish to withdraw yourself from the question queue, you may press star and 2. Participants are requested to use handsets while asking a question. Ladies and gentlemen, if you wish to ask any questions, you may enter star and 1. We will wait for a moment while the question queue assembles. First question is from the line of Priya from PJ Investment. Please go ahead.
Hello.
Yes, Priya, we are able to hear you. Please proceed.
I have two questions. First is, how does the company plan to allocate its capital to support future growth?
Priya, your voice is not very clear. There's some static that we can hear. Can you use the handset mode, please?
Hello?
Yes, please proceed.
Can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, try asking a question, please.
How does the company plan to allocate its capital to support future growth?
Hello.
Hello?
Yes, can you come again?
How does the company plan to allocate its capital to support future growth?
Basically, when we talk about future growth, right, as I've already mentioned, that going forward, we'll be going into newer commodities, newer geographies, right? And this is an ever-evolving process. So all the money that is coming in anyways is being utilized for these kind of imports and facilitating the customer. So it will be in that due process. As we grow, so more money is coming in. Our banking system is very strong, and we are getting stronger by the day, right? And we intend to pull that money into these newer avenues. At the same time, we intend to allocate a good portion into technology as well, so that we can become more strong on the technological front.
In marketing or expanding production capacity?
Hello?
Hello?
Yes?
Hello? Yeah. Are there any plans to reinvest in research and development, marketing or expanding production capacity?
Yes. So that's what I'm saying. Research and develop. Maybe I put everything to the term as technology, but yes. So exactly what we are using technology for? We are trying to understand the market data, right? So when I say technology, I don't only mean the Anmol mobile app. We have a lots of internal operations where we use technology to gather data, to understand the market, to understand demand, and where the market is going for that matter, right? What kind of commodities will be required in future in any sector for that matter. Let's say if you're supplying to cement, right? So what kind of commodities they may be requiring in future, what kind of facilities they may be requiring in future. So all that kind of research, the team that is on the ground, right? How we can increase that to gather more data, together to get a proof of things that we are doing, right? So obviously we will be putting our resources into all those kind of things, research and development. R&D has always been one of the main focus of Anmol India Limited. That is how we have been able to come up with this unique stack that we have built that I talked about. And we believe R&D is very important. Talking about products, I already told that we are adding commodities. And when we are adding these commodities, it is a very strategic approach in the sense that we are adding those commodities that we can cross. So normally we will be adding new customers for those commodities. But for the initial imports, when we are taking certain exposure, what we do, we first introduce those commodities which we can cross-sell to our existing customers. So that's how we grow. So we are anyways putting money into those customers, into those commodities which we can cross-sell, right? So we intend to grow on a gradual scale. That's how we intend to allocate that capital.
Priya, you have any further questions?
No.
Thank you. Participants, if you wish to ask any questions, please enter star and 1. The next question is from the line of Jignesh Mali, an individual investor. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Good evening. Am I audible?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I just have a few questions, Sirji. Number 1, what were the primary, drivers of the revenue growth of this quarter?
Okay. Obviously, you get after one more. Okay. So as I said, the primary drivers for the revenue for this quarter, number 1, as I already mentioned, this was addition of certain new commodities. Like we started importing coking coal a little bit, met coke a little bit. So we started with these commodities, and that is how we were able to add more revenue. At the same time, for our existing commodities also, we added certain new customers, right? So that is how we got more and more revenue.
Did the revenue growth translate into improved profitabilities and margins?
So if you understand our business model, how we work is that normally we have a very we work like it's not the if you see the absolute profit has increased, right? And the PAT margin has also increased by a little bit. But how we generally work is that whenever we procure any commodity, right, we try to sell it back to back to big customers, to everything. So I think I may have only So I did talk only one line about risk mitigation, right? So we do not work on a speculative way. That's not how we work. What we try is that whenever we are procuring a commodity, we try to sell it as much as possible, right? And so as to mitigate that risk and earn nominal profits on it, right? So this helps us rotate the capital at the same time and do more revenue also, right? While also decreasing our risk. At the same time, when we are selling it in advance, any imported stuff on advance, what happens is that the idea is to sell it on to peg it, not I would say absolutely, to peg it to the dollar value, so that even the dollar risk is also passed on to the customer, right? So that is how we are doing business in this particular thing. So yes, you might not say very much changes in profit margins, but yes, the absolute profit will grow because we are exploring more and more markets.
Okay. So are there any challenges or risk that might hinder future growth or prospects?
As of now, if I were to talk about it, like we are, one of our commodity. So now we have entered, as I told you about, we have entered into coking coal, met coke, and we're doing some chemicals also, right? So these commodities, these are unaffected because coking coal, met coke are, you could say, are infrastructure commodities. They are used for creating steel and stuff. And chemicals, anyways, is a commodity that can be used in various ways. Now coming to the thermal coal, yes, there can be certain things that like the renewables coming in and stuff like that. But at the same time, if you see, although these things are in the news, but still, if you see that government is giving more and more push to coal in the way that they are giving bigger and bigger targets to Coal India Limited for production, right? Imports are increasing that way. So yes, on the surface, it may seem that renewables are coming in everything, but at the same time, the demand for coal is huge in India. And today, India is like the hub for coal, customer hub for coal, right? And a huge portion of India's energy needs is met through coal. I'm not sure of the exact number, but probably more than 60% of energy needs is met through coal, right? So it's very difficult to shift that, right? At the same time, what is happening now, the plants are becoming more efficient so that they do not create that much pollution. Now, if you see the cement plants and everything, they are very efficient in that way. So I think that will give more opportunities for coal.
Okay. So what type of initiative you are taking or any strategies are in place to continue expanding the customer base or entering in the new market like that?
So I already talked about this. If you talk about the new markets, as in, let's say, new commodities, right? So I'll just give you an example of how we did this coking coal thing, right? I think it will be much easier to explain through example. So we were doing coal with this particular customer that we were supplying to, right? It's a cokery. Cokery is basically people who create met coke, right? So we were already supplying a different kind of coal to it, right? Now these people are again one of the biggest buyers of coking coal, right? So I already had a relationship with him due to, as I was supplying coal to it. For that matter, let's say there is some industry that I'm supplying coal to, right? Because coal is an energy product. But now it requires a chemical for that matter, right? So that is how we are expanding. That is a strategy of expansion. That we take our existing customer base, find out the other commodities they require in bulk, right? Then find out whether we have strength to supply that commodity, right? So again, when we procured this coking coal, some of the suppliers were people who we are in regular contact with because of our existence in coal, right? So that's how we work. We either try to cross-sell to our existing customers or try to procure from suppliers who we are already associated with, right? It becomes very easy because if you think about it, like we have added new commodities, at the same time the profit margins have increased. So normally when you enter a new market, you do not get the same amount of profits, right? You are now exploring a new market. So there has to be some sort of customer acquisition cost to it. But if you still see that the margin has still increased, even though we have entered new markets. So that is a testament to a strategy that we either cross-sell or buy from the same source. And after we have excelled in a commodity, then we can think of entering into contracts with newer suppliers, entering into with newer customers. Apart from that, for our existing commodities, yes, we have a very, very effective and very, very hardworking sales team that is always on the lookout for new customers, right? We are attending conferences, we are meeting with people. So it's our philosophy has been always to be on the field, and that's how we intend to increase our customers.
So you are always thinking like you are on the ground level. Yeah, got it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because we have risen from the ground. So that is how our founding promoter, he always inspires us to be on the ground. So that is how we always grow further.
Okay. Then got it, sir. Thank you very much for your time, precious time.
Thank you to you, sir.
It was really nice to talk
for taking your time to listen about the company and everything. Thank you to you.
And it is really useful, this Concall. We have some blur vision now after this conversation. It's clearly the vision is clear from our end. Thank you so much. Yeah.
For us as well, sir. For us as well.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, if you wish to ask a question, please enter star followed by 1. The next question is from the line of Suman Gupta from Bharat Stock. Please go ahead.
Hello.
Yes.
Yes, what are the key risks and challenges that the company faces in achieving its growth objectives?
Can you come again?
What are the key risks and challenges that company faces in achieving its growth objectives?
Okay. So, actually, this little bit of this was already discussed in the last question. That, as I said, that the policy, right? That might be a thing.
Yeah.
But we have already. So I talked about coal, and now we are diversifying. So to make it more risk-free, to mitigate that risk, we are now diversifying into other commodities as well, right? That is one. But at the same time, the policy risk, although that always looms with any business for that matter, but we don't see that as big of a risk because the commodity that we are dealing with, the coal, right? Although we are now doing apart from coal also, right? Coking coal and met coal, you cannot put them in the same basket as thermal coal. Those are infrastructure commodities, right?
Yeah.
But if you talk about coal also, just to give you an example, that's why I'm taking coal. That's why I'm focusing on coal. So if we were to talk about the policy risk, as I discussed before, even that we don't see much because government is pushing coal in the way that it is asking Coal India to produce more, right? The Coal India is not able to produce the given whatever. So if I'm not sure about. So yesterday or day before yesterday also only, I was reading a news that it was in the newspaper. I did not read a circular, but it was in the newspaper that NTPC has rolled out something for imported coal. It is now trying to procure imported coal.
Okay.
So by these kind of things only you can see that what is the demand of coal, what is the scale of coal, and every day you read like 7 days of coal is remaining, 3 days of coal is remaining. So I think a more better way of understanding what coal is through these news, that actually how dependent we are on coal, right? So let's not go by the global thing that what is happening here and there, because even when this Russia-Ukraine thing happened, people understood the importance of coal. Power plants started running back in Europe, right? And I believe, this is my opinion personally, I'm not sure what they're doing going forward. But now this has given a signal to the global community that let's always keep coal in our kitty, in the sense that, let's say Europe was there, it has shut down a few power plants. And now this Russia-Ukraine war happened, they were not getting the fuel, they had to reignite the power plants, right? So going forward, I believe even they will understand, let's not totally curtail coal. Let's always keep that running. Otherwise, the next time this happens, there'll be an even bigger power issue, right?
Yes.
So we feel differently. Although that risk is there, and risk is there with any business, but we feel very differently about coal, that it is not going anywhere.
Yes.
And again, we are not totally, so although I'm talking more and more about coal because that is where our roots lie. But going forward, we are not just dependent on coal, right? So we did some good quantities of coking and everything. And recently we also gave in the news also to BSE and NSE when we did this last year and we got good results. So we have also formed a specific committee to look after these coking coal, met coke, chemicals and stuff because we got good results in the last year. So we are now more focused on them also. That let's also create a specific commodity committee for these commodities as well.
So are there any regulatory, legal or geopolitical factors that could impact future performance?
So I told about policy, right? That is one. But apart from that, we don't see much because I don't see any other factor over there, right? Because coal, because if I were to think about commodities as in, right? So if we take, again, so my way of answering is through examples, okay? Forgive me for that. But let's talk about Corona tech, right?
Yes.
So if you know about it, everything was stopped.
Yes.
Coal was an essential commodity. And even at that point of time, it wasn't stopped. It wasn't stopped. It was still going on. The transportation was going on. Everything was going on.
Yes.
Right? So this year and the Corona period, the Corona year, we feel those were the two biggest achievements for us because those two were the most turbulent years that we have seen in our business. And we were still able to come out of it with flying numbers and colors, whatever you would like to say, right? So although we are doing profits in everyday business every year, that's fine. But those 2 years, we feel that we have achieved something because of our hardworking team and everything. Because those were very turbulent years.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. A reminder to all the participants, if you wish to ask any questions, please enter star followed by 1. The next question is from the line of Vanshika from Horizon Stock Market. Please go ahead. Vanshika, your line has been unmuted. Vanshika, we are not able to hear you clearly. We request you to please call back from an alternate line. Participants, if you wish to ask any questions, please enter star followed by 1. Next question is from the line of Vanshika from Horizon Stock Market. Please go ahead.
Hello?
Yes, please.
Hello?
Yes.
Can you hear me? Hello?
Yes.
Are you planning any new acquisitions? Hello?
Hello? Yes.
Hello? Yeah. Are you planning any new acquisitions?
Acquisitions as in, you mean to say companies and stuff?
Yeah. Hello?
So, I'm not very sure whether we can answer those kind of questions, but I'll just stick to the point here. So, we are very much into technology, right? And we are growing our technology as I said that we have now introduced some new features wherein customers can bid on our technological platform, and in that way they can help us, right? So on the technological front, yes, I'm not sure about acquisition, but we may be looking for some tie-ups or any kind of venture, joint venture. I'm not sure, as I said, right? Because it's all about opportunity. So yes, we are on the lookout for tie-ups maybe, right? Which can help us take our technology game to the next level. Because we very much believe that the commodity game is very much driven by technology. You need to have real-time news. You need to have even we can use various kind of things, whether it's machine learning, artificial intelligence. Everything is coming up nowadays, right? And to boost up our technology prowess, I believe some sort of tie-up, I'm not sure about acquisition, but tie-up, acquisition, or whatever that is, that will be very much beneficial. And yes, in that way, we are on the lookout for opportunities where we can join hands with people who are very much expert in these fields, whether it's machine learning, whether it's artificial intelligence, for predicting demand, for predicting prices in that way. So yes, in that way, we are in the market. But whether will it be an acquisition, whether it will be joining hands with some entity or another arrangement, we don't know as of now. Or we might do something in-house also, because I am also working as a CTO in my company, informal CTO in my company, as I come from an engineering background, and I have very much passion for technology. So back in 2016, when we launched our first app, Anmol Coal app, that was developed by myself only. But after that, I got more into business operations, and then we moved into, getting people who will develop it for us, right? So going forward, in that way, we might be looking for something, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Tejas Mehta from KSC Trading Company. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Which are the commodities other than coal company deals with? And I would also like to know about the exchange you launched last year in 2022.
So the commodities that we are working in right now, it may be different proportions, right? So we are doing in coal is there, obviously, right? So we are also doing coking coal. Now, coking coal, let's not confuse it with thermal coal, as I already said, right? Met coke is there, metallurgical coke is there. Then we are also dealing with iron pellets, right? And soda ash is there, and so on and so forth. So we are adding more commodities to it as we are going forward.
And the trading app you had launched last year of coal.
So you're talking about the Anmol Coal mobile app?
Yeah.
So Anmol Coal mobile app is basically, so when we begin, so now it has transformed to a different thing. Initially, we began a different way. Now we have done like a price discovery is there. Customers can come in. So we track those kind of things when they're opening, when they're closing, and stuff like that. So the idea behind it is that customers can discover price, they can discover the conditions on which a particular contract is available, and at the same time, as I said, going forward, like we have already introduced the bidding option over there, where the customers can bid for a limited commodity quantity in a day, right? And then we can approve those contracts on the application itself, right? Understanding. So there is a validity period to that as well. So we can always choose. Like let's say a customer is bidding for 13,000, another customer bids for 13,200. So there is a validity to it. So we can always choose the higher pricing option in that way, right? So going forward, we will be developing it a lot more, right? We may make it in. So what we may go. So there are certain plans in the making right now that how we may use it. But currently, this is the bidding option that we have introduced.
So is there any other application or any other government recognized platform where these biddings can be done for coal?
Government recognized. So bidding as in you have this CIL is there. CIL does through bidding, but that's a whole different ballgame because there what happens, you have the manufacturer is CIL. It is conducting an auction for its commodities, right? So that is in a different way. It's for a domestic coal, right? And what we are trying to do, so this is we are just trying to see what we can make it into right now. It is still in the development, but that is developed. That is the government one, and currently what we are doing is a private thing, right? And here we are not doing like so the kind of bidding that government does. It's a very like you bid and then you're able to see the price, and then another person bids. What we are doing is people can bid their best price and then wait for approval in that way, right? So if you're talking about government one, the one I know of is the conducted by CL, by co-instruction, MSTC and stuff like that.
So over there, everyone can see the prices where the bids are going, right? And
in the government one?
Yeah,
in the government. So I think both the platforms are very different in that way that government one is for those commodities only which they manufacture, number one, right? And they have an exclusive right to it, right? Because nobody can do that. Second thing is that I believe they do an auction every month. There's a lot of commodities that they're producing and they're doing it through auction, right? the prices can be seen, yes. While bidding, you can see the price, what it was closed for, what you are getting, whether you are winning or not. That is something different. Our platform works in a little different way. I would encourage you to download the app and try it out. Maybe we can do a trial kind of a thing. So you can just download the app, check it out. There is a lot of differences in both those platforms.
Okay. So how much volume does the app generate, Anmol Call app?
So as I said, this bidding option has recently been introduced, right? And we expect some. So it's just earlier it was more of a price discovery platform, in the sense that we were giving the conditions, price discovery, we were sending notifications to customers, right? Whenever the price changes was there, in that way they were associated with us, right? So that was in the initial days. But now we have recently introduced it. So I think we'll be in a much more better able position to give the results in the coming days.
Okay. And last question, does the profit from this application goes to Anmol India, or they both are independent like that?
The Anmol Call mobile app is owned by Anmol itself.
Okay. So the profit in future or now goes to Anmol India, right?
No. I'm not sure what you're trying to say, because Anmol Call mobile app is owned by Anmol India, right?
Okay.
First of all, right now the bidding has been recently introduced, right? And so we will see how it works out, right? So the data, yes, that is proprietary Anmol only, because whatever data is coming through that Anmol Call mobile app. So in the name itself you have Anmol Call, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. That's it. Okay.
Thank you. Participants, if you wish to ask any questions, please enter star and 1. A reminder to all the participants, if you wish to ask a question, please enter star followed by 1. As there are no further questions, I now hand the conference over to Mr. Babulal Saini from Anmol India Limited for closing comments. Mr. Chakshu Goel, would you want to proceed with the closing remarks, please?
Hello? Can you come again?
Do you want to proceed with the closing remarks? Closing comments?
Definitely. Well, I thank you everyone for being here. It's a wrap on a great Concall. Seeing this, everything, we would definitely like to do it on a regular basis to keep our investors updated in terms of what is happening, what we are doing in the company, and everything around. Anmol India is committed to delivering long-term value to its stakeholders. So thank you all of you, and thank you so much for coming here. Thank you.
Thank you. On behalf of Anmol India Limited, that concludes this conference. Thank you for joining us, and you may now disconnect your lines.